Now, hold each other's hands and look into each other's eyes and promise these things to one another. Do you, Daniel, Alexander, John Fellows, take Leilla Farkonde, whose right hand you now hold, to be your lawful wife, and do you promise to keep, love, and cherish her, forsaking all others during her life, according to the word of God?
I do.
Do you, Leilla Farkonde, take Daniel, Alexander, John Fellows, whose right hand you now hold, to be your lawful husband, and do you promise to love, cherish, and obey him in the Lord, forsaking all others during his life, according to the word of God?
I do. I, Leilla,
I, Daniel,
take you, Daniel,
take you, Leilla,
to be my husband,
to be my wife,
in the presence of God,
in the presence of God,
and before this congregation,
and before this congregation,
I promise and covenant
I promise and covenant
to be a loving, faithful,
to be a loving, faithful,
and loyal wife to you,
and loyal husband to you,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live. I give you this ring as a sign of our marriage. With my body I honour you.
I give to you, and all that I have I share with you.
Daniel and Leilla, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride.
Coloratura, we fell in through the clouds, and everyone before us is there welcoming us now. It's the end of death and doubt, and loneliness is out. Coloratura, the place we dreamed about, the melodies inside yourself, and love come pouring out, and everyone's allowed. We're feathered by the crowd. And up there in the heavens, Galileo and those pining for the moon. No, it's a slow burn to Pioneer and Helix, Uma, Mama, Heliopause and Neptune. We're a slow burning June, but we'll get there. So for now, in this crazy world, I do. I just want you.
Welcome everybody Today I'm going to introduce you to some Iranian wedding traditions as Leilla and Daniel take part. The word sofra means the spread and akt means ceremony in Farsi. The ceremonial acts include traditions practiced for thousands of years in Iranian culture. Here we have selected a few of the symbolic items from a traditional sofra, all of which will represent an element of couples' married life together. You have mirror, fruits, eggs, nuts, candles, and sugar cones and honey, along with the Book of Hafiz, which symbolizes love through poetry. Leilla and Daniel will now take part in lighting of the candle in Shamdun. Each will light a candle and then light another candle together, representing unity, giving warmth and purity to the couple's relationship and life together. I would like to invite Kevin, Linda, Shabnam, and Imogen for the next part of the Sofra Act. The falling sugar represents the passing of a blessing of sweetness from one generation to the next. As I reflect on the past, all the years that I've been blessed to have you in my life, Leilla, I want you to know from the bottom of my heart how honored I am to be your father. On behalf of Helen, Shabnam, Omid and I, you've made us proud, a person, a daughter, a sister, and now wife to Daniel. We are all feeling emotional about this day. Even the cake is in tears. Leilla has always been inquisitive and curious since a toddler. She finds it in her heart to bring a smile to everyone's faces. We think of you, your amazing qualities and characteristics, such as your charisma and fun energy, generosity, and loving nature. Daniel is an honorable, hardworking, dedicated, very thoughtful, and extremely kind man. One with integrity, which was demonstrated by planning and organizing with a letter to Helen and I to ask for Leilla's hand in marriage. Daniel presented this to me during a fishing trip. He may not have caught a fish that day, but he captured my heart and received my blessing. So without further ado, this is my absolute pleasure to officially welcome Daniel to the family. On behalf of all the family and I, Leilla and Daniel, we congratulate you. Everyone, please be upstanding and raise your glass to the bride and groom. Salamati. Salamati. All the best.
On behalf of my wife and I, I would like to welcome you all to Drumtochty and thank you all for being here today. Firstly, to Mansour, thank you for your kind words. It means a lot to me that you, Helen, Shabnam and Omid have welcomed me into your family. You've all been supportive of Leilla and I's relationship throughout the years, and I really couldn't have asked for more welcoming family to be a part of. Leilla. You are stunningly beautiful. I think it's only right to share a few stories. So my first memory of meeting Leilla was on a soggy and windy geology field trip to Stonehaven. I thought to myself, there's something a bit different about this girl. So I asked her where she was from, and she told me of her family heritage in the Far East, a long way from Glasgow. I was intrigued. I'd never met somebody with family roots in Dundee. The location that now holds more significance for us beyond the geology, but it's apt that today we find ourselves again in close proximity to this geological feature. Perhaps coincidence, but most likely. But perhaps today I'm feeling a little more sentimental and can think it's a sign it was meant to be. It's a common question couples first get asked, where was your first date? I'll admit, our relationship is older than Tinder. So we did have a more traditional beginning. After a rejection or two from Leilla, and a little nudge in the right direction from our friend Kirsten, Leilla finally agreed to come out for a meal with me. We were both students, so nothing fancy here, but with lots of chain classics to choose from. I'm sure not to this day what possessed us to go into Frankie and Benny's dinner. And I went for a creamy pasta dish, which was lukewarm and flavourless. But I want to note that for a previously self-declared fussbot, this was stepping out of my comfort zone. I'll never forget it. The company was wonderful, a beautifully thorough, engaging conversation, but the food that day left much to be desired. However, I knew there was something here. Date 1, and Leilla was already pushing me out of my comfort zone. As you know, we went for a fishing trip, the perfect opportunity. After an hour or two of sitting in the sun, no fish, plenty of internal tension, I said to my son, "I've got a letter for you. Do you don't mind having a look?" He said, "Oh, if you don't mind, I'm just going to continue with my fishing just now." Can I read it later? I said, yeah, if you like. But make sure you read it before we go, because it's quite important. So I go back to my fly fishing, bearing in mind I'm a complete novice. I've never ever fished before. My casting technique was rudimentary at best, and without realising, crack, snap, the rod was broken. I thought, this whole situation could not be going any worse. No fish caught, a snap fishing rod, and an unopened proposal letter. Eventually, we took a seat on the bench, had a late lunch, and Mansour opened it after what seemed like an eternity. But thankfully, Mansour didn't seem too bothered about my poor casting technique and gave me his blessing to marry Leilla. And the rest is history. I took Leilla back to Aberdeen University, the place that brought us together, and she said yes. I was overjoyed, relieved, and after we'd wiped away the tears, I told her we needed to go to the fishing shop to buy a new rod. Leilla, I love your goofiness. It's a part of your character that maybe not everyone sees. You pick me up on days when I'm feeling low. You can certainly put a smile on my face. I love your generosity, your kind heart. Over the years, I've seen how often people come to you for advice. Friends, family, work colleagues. This is because you're dependable, you're objective, and you care deeply about those close to you. I love your strong, independent nature, your enthusiasm, your ability to succeed in whatever you set out to do. I couldn't ask for a better partner in crime, to share in new adventures, relax on lazy Sundays, or to dance the night away with, which I'm sure we'll do tonight. You're far more than I could have dreamed of, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you and see what's in store for us. And we'll have a toast to Leilla.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the best man, I'm Callum, and I'm Daniel's oldest friend. Well, when writing this best man speech, I realised that me and Daniel have nearly been friends for 30 years. A long time, mate. So Daniel and Leilla actually got together when I was in Australia. So when I came home, I didn't hear rumours. Daniel had a girlfriend. Daniel had seen someone. I definitely needed to see it to believe it. This is the first best man speech I've ever been asked to do. So, being friends with Daniel, I didn't want to disappoint. So I did a lot of research into it. One phrase kept popping up, and that was, "It's a toast, not a roast." However, Mansour said lovely words about Leilla. So I do want to stand here and kind of sell Daniel. But I want to convince everybody here that he's going to make a fantastic husband for Leilla. However, I make no promises. So I'll bring up a few embarrassing stories. But Daniel introduced as well, he was a fantastic singer. Landing himself the lead role in a school performance of Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Right. eyes again on his stag do. The hair was fantastic, it really was. But Daniel and Leilla are perfect for each other. They've definitely had a difficult few weeks when they run up to this wedding. They faced a lot of adversity and disappointment, and I really admire them for their resilience. I just want to wish the pair of you all the happiness in the world for your marriage together. As I said, me and Daniel have been friends now for nearly 30 years, and I look forward to another 30 years of friendship with you and your new wife. So, if everybody could please be upstanding again, I'm sorry, to the new Mr. and Mrs. Fellows. Cheers.
میام دورت بگردم میگی گشتن نداره تو میدونی چه کردی که این دل بیقراره سرم با دلبری هات چقدر بلا آوردی دل من که نمیرفت به زور اومدی بردی یه دل نصد دلاشه ولی انگار نه انگار همون از دست این دل همون از دست دلدار یه دل نصد دلاشه ولی انگار نه انگار همون از دست این دل همون از دست دلدار تموم هست و نیستم از عشقت رفته برباد دیگه دلت چی میخواد شدم دیوونت انگار ولی اصلا تو انگار که نه انگار که نه انگار یه دل نصد دلاشه ولی انگار نه انگار همون از دست این دل همون از دست دلدار یه دل نصد دلاشه ولی انگار نه انگار همون از دست این دل همون از دست دلدار چه خوابا که ندیدی
Okay, so now we cut the cake. Is that right? Okay. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Let's hear it for them.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel so tired but you can't sleep, stuck in reverse, and the tears come streaming down your face when you lose something you can't replace, when you love someone but it goes to waste. Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I to let it go. But if you never try, you'll never know just what you were. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Reflections are